Welcome to The Purpose Driven Practitioner, the podcast where we delve into the dynamic intersection of practice, profitability, and purpose. I'm your host, Melissa Olson, a board-certified naturopathic doctor and business mentor. Join me as we unlock the secrets of creating unparalleled results for your clients while building a profitable business that aligns with your true purpose. Get ready to transform the way you approach your work and your life. Hi, everyone. I am so excited that you're here today. This is our first episode of The Purpose Driven Practitioner. In this webinar series, we go through and explore why we do what we do, how to do our job better, how to expand our business, get better results for our clients, and really live our purpose. So today's episode, we're going to go through and talk about our purpose. How did we find our purpose? And what does our purpose tell us about how we're going to do our job and how we're going to live our lives? My name is Melissa Olson, and I'm a board-certified traditional naturopath, bioenergetic practitioner, business owner, and yoga teacher, and so much more, as we all are, right? We are going to explore in this episode who we are as practitioners, what motivates us, what drives us, why we chose the job that we chose in the first place, and what keeps us going when things get tough. We're going to talk about how to identify what is your purpose. Because when we get very, very clear on why we do what we do and what we are going to do, then the how becomes so much easier. We tend to focus on the how. We tend to focus on the end result, and we don't always take the time and the effort and the energy to determine, why are we doing this? Do we really want to do this? Does what we're doing, the choices that we're making for our business, the number of hours that we're working, the job that we're choosing to do, does this serve our bigger purpose? Does it fit into our life? We don't want our job to be all encompassing and have to spend 1,000,000 hours doing it to the neglect of your own health or your family's health. So our job, in order to truly serve our purpose, does need to fit in like a puzzle piece. Okay? And we can go through and identify how that's going to work and what does it look like. We use our intuition. We work on developing a community. There's so many ways that we can do this. First, I want to talk about our story. So when we're talking about identifying your purpose, the best way I have found to determine what your purpose is to talk about your story. Okay? Your story will tell you so much about yourself. And I know all of you have sat down and you have listened to your clients' stories, and you can see how their story has shaped them, how their story has molded their actions and their beliefs. So let's examine our story so that we know what has molded our actions and our beliefs and our motivation. So a story about why we got into this natural health business in the first place, right? I don't want your entire life story, although that is really fascinating. Let's focus on those areas right now that are related to why you chose to become a natural health practitioner. And I love hearing those stories. They are so much fun because there's passion behind your motivation and your goals, and it's amazing. So I want you to write down your story so that you can become very clear about what drives you in your business. Keeping your purpose and your passion front and center when you're creating your natural health business will attract clients that resonate with you. Okay? If your clients resonate with you, then you are better able to serve them at a higher level. You're able to serve them at a higher level because you have a connection with them, right? Your connection with them builds trust and it fosters that relationship and those beliefs. And if they believe what you're doing is important and going to make an impact on them, if they believe in what you're telling them, they are going to have way better results. There's a whole field of study about the biology of belief and how what you believe, you become. Okay? What you believe, the cells of your body will literally reproduce and become that. So we need to explore why you believe what you do so that we can predict what you're going to become. So I'm going to tell you my story so that you can see how our experiences motivate and drive our life, our business, our goals, our passion, and our purpose. So I had a business degree. I was working in advertising and marketing for lots of years when my then husband and I decided to start our family. I was in my mid to late 20s. Okay. I decided to quit my job and be a stay-at-home mom. We moved to Minnesota so that we could become closer to our family. When my daughter was born, I was ecstatic and terrified, like most moms, right? I think that's a fairly common experience, to be ecstatic and terrified at the same time. But we were under special circumstances because my daughter, from the day she was born, did not develop like other babies. She did not laugh or roll over or sit. She did not eat or gain weight. She did not reach any of those regular milestones that we think of when we think of child development, right? We've got the growth charts and we've got the weight charts and we've got the milestones that we want them to meet, all of that. None of it. She fell off the weight chart. She fell off the growth chart. We're not hitting any of those milestones. So you can imagine, as a parent, I was panicked. I was panicked. I didn't think she was going to live. It scared the daylights out of me. So I took her to every specialist I could find. Anywhere I could get an appointment for someone to look at her and give me a reason for what was going on so that we could change her trajectory in life. Because she was falling farther and farther and farther behind. It was a terrible experience, I have to say. Every doctor I went to did blood tests and they did a very thorough examination. And every single one of those doctors would tell me, there's nothing wrong with her. She's fine. She'll eventually catch up. She's just a little slow. Right? They would tell me all kinds of things. A couple of doctors even tried to tell me that it was my fault, that I wasn't feeding her and that was the problem. Well, most mothers know that is not the way it works. As moms, we are driven to feed our children. That's just built in. So clearly that was not the problem. What happened was Grace was failure to thrive. And failure to thrive, for those of you that do not know, failure to thrive means that they do not reach milestones. There is no diagnostic test other than they are not reaching milestones and are continuing to fall further and further and further behind. It's not that they're just slow in reaching the milestones. They literally do not reach them. They do not grow. They do not develop. And they just wither. It's a horrible thing to watch. So this threw me into a very, very fierce state. And as every mother knows, when your child is hurting, you are hurting. Well, we went to 4 years of therapy and doctors with very little progress and absolutely no answers. And at this point, I was exhausted, afraid, and out of ideas. I had nothing. I did not know what to do next. And then my son came along. And for me, this really amplified my fears and my struggles because what if it happened again? Right? We don't know what caused it the first time. What if it happened again? Someone that I had met, one of Grace's therapists, suggested that we go see a naturopath. She had seen a naturopath with her child and it really helped. They'd worked on some digestive issues and it was great. but I had no real concept of what was a naturopath. I had never heard of it. I grew up in South Dakota. That was not a thing. Okay? We used grandma's old wisdom. We did all that kind of stuff. We had gardens. We lived on the land, all of it. But I did not know the concept of a naturopath. But I knew in my heart I needed to try something different, because if I wanted different results, I needed to do something different. If I kept going on the same path, we were not going to get a different result. Okay? That's not the definition of insanity, right? Trying the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. I needed to do something different to get a different result. But I was very leery about this naturopath thing, right? I had never heard of it. I did not know what to expect. I did not know what they were going to do. And I didn't know what results they could work on. I had no concept of it. So I went myself. I went first. I had to try it out. I had to at least talk to this person, see how they work with people. But I had my own health issues, right? I was exhausted and frustrated and angry and overweight. And it got so bad at one point, I remember sitting in my garage and crying because I could not lift my baby's car seat into the car. My muscles had no energy to work. My brain had no energy to think. And my organs had no energy to function. I was gaining weight quickly and I had no hope or end in sight because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to try, and I didn't know what was causing all of that. If you had asked me at the time, I would have told you that I was a very healthy person. I didn't do prescriptions. There was no disease. There were no mental health concerns. My blood work was all normal. Nothing that a conventional doctor could look at and say, bing, that's it. Nothing. But I knew things were not right. Have you ever felt like that? I felt broken. Right? Have you ever just felt broken? Like you know things are not right. There's nothing specific that I can point to and say, yeah, that's wrong. That blood number is off, or that urine thing is not work. I had nothing. Right? Nothing specific was wrong according to conventional medicine, but I knew things were not right. This could not be my life forever. It couldn't. It just couldn't. So that day in the garage was a turning point for me. The very next day, I booked an appointment with a traditional naturopath. Right? That's the day that changed my life. And I think we all have a story like this. Someone in our profession before we did this job changed our life, or changed our child's lives, or our parents, or our best friend. Something happened that gave you a framework of how powerful this job could be. Right? Think about your story. So I worked with my naturopath, and I supported my thyroid, and I cleaned up my gut, and I detoxified my liver, and I fixed my diet, all those things that a traditional naturopath does. We identified foods, and we did detox protocols, and we worked on my liver, and just all of the stuff. And I would say I maybe spent 4 or 5 appointments with her before I really started to understand truly how big this could be, how much impact this could have on our lives. It was huge. It was huge. Finally, I had hope. And that's what we all need. We all need hope, right? That's what we try to instill in our clients, is the hope that there is a different way. There's not a better way even, but there's a different way, that they have choices, that they have options. This is huge for our clients, to be able to give them hope. Hope that life can be vibrant and energetic and filled with joy. It doesn't need to be scary and depressing and anxious and tired. It's huge. So after that, I was hooked. I took my daughter, I took my son to this naturopath, and we all blossomed under her care. My son's eczema cleared up, and he slept better, and he was happier. And that was it for me. My daughter, she started growing. She started gaining weight. She started eating, and that was an answer to a prayer right there. I knew once I started to see her turn around, I knew that this is what I was supposed to be. Because if I could make that big of impact in someone else's life, then our entire 4 or 5 years of struggle had some kind of meaning. There was a purpose behind it. Right? And the purpose behind it is, this is the job I'm supposed to do. So, fast forward to today. Today, my daughter graduated from college and she's a preschool teacher. My son has graduated with his welding certificate and is thriving. I continue to honor our struggles every day by teaching other naturopaths, other practitioners, other chiropractors, other acupuncturists, other natural health practitioners how to make that kind of impact on their clients. Okay. I built my business when my children were in, let's see, how old were they? When my kids were in probably middle school, I went back to school. Okay. I went back to school. I became a yoga teacher. I became a Reiki master. I became a naturopath. I became a bioenergetic practitioner. All the things, so I could become better and better and better at my job, so that I could build a thriving business and help as many people as possible. Then one day I realized, if I wanted to make that impact on even more people, what I needed to do was to teach other healthcare practitioners how to make that kind of impact. And they can go out and thrive and build their community and support their people in such a big, vibrant, robust way. We can make big impacts in our clients' lives, and it is amazing. It's truly amazing. So, hope. Right? That's the biggest thing we want to instill in our clients, is hope. Hope that things can change for the better. So the best part for you and all of my clients, I tell them this, the best part is, I have been where you are. I understand how you feel. I know what it takes to make a complete recovery, not just a partial recovery, a complete recovery, to regain the life that I was meant to lead. Remember that day in the garage I told you about? That day in the garage sent me to become a board certified traditional naturopath. I had to. This is my purpose. This is my passion, and this is my motivation. So I took my business degree and I took my Doctor of Naturopathy degree, and I created Vibrant WellCare. And so for the last 10 years, I have helped multitudes of clients resolve their health issues and feel vibrant while building a 6-figure business that truly fueled my purpose and served my family. I work with clients on everything from digestive issues to mast cell activation syndrome to fluoroquinolone toxicity to Lyme disease, all of it. If there is a chronic, long-standing condition that doesn't seem to have an answer, that's what I love. That's what I love. I tell my clients I love to play medical detective every day. Okay? Every day. It's so much fun. I've worked in stem cell injection clinics. I've worked with doctors and chiropractors and naturopaths and acupuncturists. I've worked with energy healers and nutritionists and everything in between. Not only do I refer to those people and we build community together and we support each other's businesses, because we can't do it all on our own, right? As a naturopath, I'm not a specialist in chiropractic care. I understand thoroughly the need for it, the importance of it, the impact that it can make in someone's life. But I'm not an expert in it. But I work with naturopaths or with chiropractors all the time because I think together, that's a really powerful combination. Same thing with acupuncturists, same thing with your medical doctors or your energy healers or your massage therapists. We all work together. We are the client's team. So let's build that community together. That's what this podcast is about. That's what this program is about, right? Serving your purpose by working with others who have the same purpose to really make a huge impact in our clients' lives while serving our purpose. So, I really want you to write down your story. Write it down on paper. Don't just run it through your head. Write it down on paper and then set it aside for a few days and then come back to it. I want you to start seeing how the different layers of your experience, and it's never just one thing. It's rarely, I shouldn't say never. It's rarely one thing, one exposure, one experience that catapulted you into this line of work. You can see I had 3. I had my daughter, that was the hugest one. I had my son, and I had myself. All 3 of them led me to this job. Okay? In upcoming episodes of this podcast, we will cover such topics as your bottom line as a practitioner. We'll talk about creating goals that you can achieve, how you can overcome challenges and struggles when you're running your modern natural healthcare business, and how to create a consistent inflow of clients, how to grow your community, while at the same time taking care of yourself and your family and keeping your purpose front and center. This is the first one, your purpose. We are purpose-driven practitioners. That's the reason we do this. That's our motivation. That's what fuels us and gets us fired up. Right? Maybe it's your child being sick like mine, or a parent, or yourself, or all of them, right? There are no lack of clients, including those in our own family and our neighbors and our friends and our schools. Somewhere you were impacted by a health issue and had amazing results with a natural practitioner, and that experience inspired you on your path. And everybody's story is different, but everyone has an amazing story. Now, you don't necessarily need to share your story with anyone, but you do need to know what your motivation is and what your driver is. If you feel so inclined, I would love to hear your stories. Record your story, write your story down, whatever you need to do, and share it with me at vibrantwellcare.net. I get energized to know that there are other people out there like us. Other people who had amazing experiences and want to pass that on. When I was growing up, I didn't even know that a naturopath was a thing. And maybe that's like you. You didn't know that there were chiropractors in the world that could make such a big impact, but you met one and you became a chiropractor because of that other person. So in your heart, thank that other person for the impact they played, because you would not be where you are without your experience with them. All right. So next time, join me for our podcast, Purpose Driven Practitioner, where we talk about your bottom line. We'll talk about the bottom line of your business, how to make change in your bottom line. What is your bottom line? Let's talk about that first. What is your bottom line? How do we make changes in your bottom line? And how do we do it so it continues to feed your purpose and your family? So I would love to hear your comments, your suggestions for upcoming episodes. So please connect with me at vibrantwellcare.net and let me know what you're thinking about. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have suggestions on topics that we should cover next. I'm really excited to start this series, because I think it really does serve my purpose and hopefully feeds yours. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Purpose Driven Practitioner. I hope our discussion has ignited fresh perspectives and actionable insights within you. As you continue your journey towards a purposeful and prosperous practice, remember that your potential knows no bounds. I invite you to visit my website at vibrantwellcare.net, where you can sign up for your free discovery call. Find out how I can personally assist you in realizing your aspirations and maximizing your client impact. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes. And until then, keep thriving and keep embracing your power of purpose.